And we're rolling.
Hello again. Hi, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
It is Friday, September 20. Just a couple of days short of the beginning of fall. Yeah.
Excited for fall.
How are you feeling about that?
I can't wait. I want to wear sweaters. I want to stop sweating on the trains. I'm so excited to have it be colder outside than it
Yeah.
is in my core body temperature.
Yeah, it's nice. When I was growing up in Texas, we didn't have big changes of seasons, but we do here. And I came to really value that difference.
Yeah. The fall is my favorite season
Yeah.
of all of the seasons.
Good.
And, I feel like when it's winter, you can't wait for summer. When it's summer, you can't wait for
True.
winter. But the fall, if it could be the fall all year round, I would love it. Although I have to admit, maybe if it was all year round, I'd take it for granted. It's nice to look forward to it.
True enough.
You know?
True enough.
Yeah.
So we are going to talk today about success,
Yeah.
which is spelled funny. I bet a lot of people don't know how to spell that. Double C, double S.
Double C, double S.
In
Success.
fact, three S's
Yeah.
if you get right down to it. So we're going to talk about success. And, of course, knowing me, I look always for the extensions of the word or the opposites. The opposite of success, of course, is failure. Success is defined as achieving something that you set out to do. And I think there are lots of examples we can list. Can I turn it over to you for a moment?
Of course. Yeah, I was excited when you said you wanted to talk about success because, obviously as someone who's 30 and building a life in a variety of ways and in a number of different directions, trying to figure out what sticks, success is on my mind a lot, and by extension, failure is obviously on my mind a lot. And the idea of what success really is for a person, because I think a lot of people, as anyone would say, they're afraid to try things because if they don't succeed, they'll be a failure, or they'll be a joke, or feel terribly about themselves for wasting so much time. But that's only if you define success by the end result and achieving the goal or whatever. But if you define success by growing through stumbling, then basically anything that you do, you can't fail at, because you're going to get something out of it, whether it was the thing that you intended to get or whether it was something else entirely. And I mean, that's the way I try to look at success for myself, because it's a lot easier to have momentum toward a goal when you're not so afraid of failing, because you don't feel like it's possible to fail.
Is it fair to consider effort as part of being successful?
Absolutely. I mean, I think if you don't put in effort in the thing that you're trying to do, then not only can you not be successful at it, but I would argue that you didn't even really try to do it at all.
So that's a necessary part of getting to success.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a priority thing. If you want to achieve a specific thing, then you need to make that more important than going out with your friends on Friday, or going to see that movie you wanted to see. Like, it has to be important enough that you're going to invest time into making it possible. It's not going to happen for you.
Mickey, are there parts of your life, now that you're 30, that you consider successful, where you are a success?
Absolutely.
What are they?
Well, I think the most success that I have experienced in my life has been relationship based. I feel very I feel like I have achieved a level of vulnerability and intimacy with people in my life that very few people get to achieve with the significant people in their lives. And I think it's because it's what I spend most of my energy trying to do is make sure that all my relationships are honest, of integrity, genuine, cared for, reciprocal, and valuable for both parties. And that's like sort of how I have defined success in that way.
What happens if you put in the effort and it doesn't work out?
Well, I suppose it depends what you're trying to accomplish, but I think that there's no way to fall below the rung on the ladder of that you start at before you've even like set out on a journey to achieve something. So if you're on the first rung and you're trying to get to the fifth rung, where like goal A is, and you can only make it to the second rung, you've still succeeded more than you were when you set out to start. So maybe you didn't reach the heights of the goal that you were trying to do, but you're still better off than you were. So like you haven't failed at all. You just overshot the amount of work it was going to take to get where you wanted to be. And that's really important input to get. That's really great information, because now you know that if you want to get to 5, you need to set your sights on 10. And then you'll make it to 5. There's one thing someone said once. It was like, let's write out the goals that we want to achieve for this year. Be it, I want to write a book, I want to, host a television show, and I want to make $500,000. Like, if those are my goals for the year. So that's pretty ambitious for like a year, to be able to do all those things. So now let's make it 3 months. Same goals, same objective, but instead of trying to do it in a year, you're going to try and do it in 3 months. It's like absolutely not possible to get that done in 3 months. But after those 3 months are done, you're going to be so much further along in achieving those goals than you would have been had you allotted a whole year for it. And so you're going to fail. You're not going to achieve that goal in 3 months. You don't even know if you could in a year. But you pretend you're going to do it in 3 months, because by the time those 3 months are up, you're maybe 6 months in to what you would have done if you had a year, and you only did it in 3 months. So you make unattainable goals for yourself, and then break them down into actionable steps, and then set an unrealistic end point, and see how close you can get to the goal in that unrealistic point. And you'll never get there, but you'll always do better than you did if you had a realistic endpoint that was a year later,
That's a lot to chew on. Did you come up with all that?
No, I heard it somewhere, and I applied it in some aspects of my life, and I love it. It's very useful. To say, like, I want to plan our whole wedding. We have a year till the wedding, but let's pretend we only have 6 months.
Yeah.
And let's get it done in 6 months. You probably won't, but by the time the 6 months are up, you're going to be 90% of the way done.
Yeah.
And still have 6 more months. So it helps you, like, accomplish the goal a lot better. What is the most successful thing you think you've done?
Quitting smoking.
That's a pretty good one.
I mean, I'm not joking. That's really true. Because I didn't think I would ever be able to. And I was sure that one of these days an x-ray would come back looking not the way one would want it to, and that would be it. And then I would just simply wait until it's time to die, which would not be far off.
Yeah.
So that it was a big achievement for me.
I would say, too, that that's a whole other side of success that I don't even think I thought about when you mentioned doing this episode, is that success doesn't necessarily have to be like achieving some new goal. It could also be keen self-awareness and then making a change from a destructive habit,
I think so. Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
A lot of people wouldn't be able to even admit to themselves that they were doing something that was bad for them for so long. You know? It's hard to admit that to yourself.
I had ample examples of why quitting smoking would be healthy, because I had two siblings who both had dealt with cancer, and I had fortunately not. I don't know why. I should have, because I was of the three of us, I was the only one who did smoke. My brother did not, my sister did not, but I did. And I did it with great dedication, too. Oh, yeah. A day did not go by that I did not smoke. Even I probably said this already, I had gum surgery, which is very painful.
Ouch.
I still smoked.
Through the surgery, through healing?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, sure.
Oh, gosh.
And I smoked non-filter cigarettes, too.
What was your brand?
Pall Mall
Pall Mall.
in the red package.
Mm.
Oh, yeah. I never ran out of them. I always had plenty.
Did you have a cigarette case, like a nice one?
No.
Just the pack?
No. But I managed to have them. So.
Do you ever miss them now, or not really?
Not now. Not by
No.
now. For a while I did.
Yeah.
It's very... Believe me, smoking is very addictive.
Yeah.
No question. No question.
Do you ever smoke in your dreams?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't think I do. No.
Huh. That's cool.
But it's now I'm away from it for a good number of years.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, well, and I mean, if I can give myself some credit, I got through college. I got through a master's degree. I changed jobs a couple of times because I started out on a path that did not work and changed until I found a path, namely teaching, that did work. So I can credit myself a little bit of success there, or a fair amount.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you made it in New York City this many years. That's pretty impressive. A lot of people can't make it in this city.
If you make it here, you make it anywhere.
Exactly.
Anywhere. Listen, I want to throw in something that is a little off base
Yeah.
to do with success. And it's something that happened to me just this week. And it can fall in the category of success, I believe. I went with two friends I told Mickey about this earlier, to the Metropolitan Museum with particular plan to go up on the roof. The roof is open, it's very wide, the view is phenomenal all around south and west, and there is at the moment an exhibit of sculptures from one man. They're sort of satirical, funny, cute things, wire sculptures that are placed around the roof garden. And it was a beautiful day. We took some pictures up there. The sky was gorgeous. And from there, we went downstairs to the ground floor with particular wish to see the wing of Greek and Roman sculptures, which is also phenomenal. It's a large area, and it's stunning. There are I don't know, 300 or 400 pieces of sculpture all around, big, from the old days, from mostly Roman days. Many life-size, some just heads. And that area happens to have been planned with a glass roof. And it's wonderful because then the sun comes through. And the sun, the view changes during the day, of course. As we move around, the view is different all the time, and it's beautiful. And from there, we went back upstairs for a while to look through the European painting wing, which is gorgeous. Monet, Manet, Corot, Van Gogh, Renoir, all the great Impressionists, Cézanne painters. It's a place that I know very well. I've looked at those many, many times. Those paintings are familiar to me, mostly. My point being that when we left, we stayed and had lunch in the museum. And when we left, they helped me to get back home. And I felt so nourished by that experience. It was success. It was success. I didn't expect it to resonate with me that way. Not only was it success, but it was success of a sort of spiritual kind. And I know that may sound a little odd, but maybe not. I thought later, when I reflected back on it, how can this beautiful roof garden with the view and the sculptures from Roman days and paintings from the 1800s, how can those things be without there being some kind of higher power who rules over all of us? And it was very comforting to me to think that way. I've been to that museum countless times. I've been a member half a century. I've never thought of it that way. I've never thought of going there as a spiritual experience. Suddenly I did. And I throw that into the basket of things that are a success.
Yeah.
What do you think? Am I crazy?
I don't think so at all. I mean, I think that I view art in general as a spiritual experience for me. I don't know if I've ever had the intensity of the feeling you're describing, but just to think of it now, the idea that these powerful pieces of art that were made by immensely talented people across centuries,
and by human beings,
and by human beings in general, but across centuries, if not 1,000 years,
that's right.
to Greek and Roman sculpture,
half the a millennium.
Yeah,
sure.
And I think that the idea that all of that work is in one place, consolidated for people today who never would have had the opportunity to meet or learn about any of these creative minds and souls that lived long before we ever were even considered. It's a gift that we as a human species have decided to collect significant works across centuries and put them all together so you can basically walk through time as you as you peruse the artwork in a space like a museum, like the Met. That is a powerful feeling that I feel when I go to museums. I don't know if I've ever felt it spiritual or in the idea of a ruler, the way that you just described. But at the same time, I've never been 92 and done it. You know, I don't know. I don't know. You said you've been there countless times, and this is the first time you felt that way. I'm sure
Yes.
that I could in the future feel another way.
I didn't expect that.
Did you feel it when you were there, or you didn't
Not so
sort of think
much.
of it until you came home?
Not so much. We were just busy looking.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I was busy looking, although much of it was familiar. I was the one that said, let's go downstairs and look at the Greek sculptures, and let's go upstairs to the second floor and look at the European paintings, because I thought my friends would enjoy doing that. And I did, and they did. It was good. So we were busy looking.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we were busy having a little lunch. So that was, yeah.
So it wasn't until you were alone and home?
That's right. It was later. Yeah.
Wow. How did it dawn on you? What were you doing?
I
You
don't
were just
know.
Sitting?
I don't know. I was by myself.
Yeah.
They had helped me home, and then they had left. Yeah. So, but you're certainly making a wonderful point that people, and to be truthful, people with a lot of money have accumulated these things
Yeah.
over hundreds of years. Now, you go to the MoMA, to modern art, those are much more recent, but even so, they are there by the grace of wealthy people who have managed to buy them, donate them to a marvelous museum, modern art. Wow, I mean, these are a couple of the most important art gathering places in the world. And if you want to throw in the Whitney for American art, that's a third one, and the Guggenheim also,
Yeah.
and the Frick. I mean, all of those are places open to the public. You may have to pay an entrance fee, but there they are, and they are there to be enjoyed again and again.
Yeah.
And anybody who doesn't give themselves a chance to look and enjoy those is missing out on something so wonderful, so nourishing, so helpful, really.
What do you think it is that is nourishing about it to you?
I think first of all, they're just beautiful. They're just beautiful. I'm not an artist. You are an artist. I'm not an artist, and I'm not a musician, but I appreciate music and I appreciate art. Even more than music, probably. The Met Museum was a place I went quickly when I moved here. I didn't wait very long.
Yeah.
And I joined, and I have continued to join. I pay them an annual dues. It keeps going up. But that's all right. They really don't need my $110, but I give it to them anyway. Mickey, by the way, said to me earlier, if you're a resident in the city, you get into these places free.
Yeah.
I don't think I knew that. Now I do.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
After 50 years of being a member for money.
Yeah, that's right. It didn't need to be. No, I don't mind.
I mean,
Sure.
it's a great thing to give to,
Well, I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think maybe discovering it wasn't for that day, that afternoon was, to be sure, going back to familiar places, the Greek sculptures and European paintings. But beyond that, for me, it was something new when we went up on the roof. And I was blown away by that. It was so beautiful, the view there and the openness
Yeah.
and the skyline with a few tall, spindly buildings that you wish were not there. Because there again, it's money that built those. They kind of stick up out of the skyline. But okay, there they are. You try and shut them out if you don't like them, which I don't. Yeah, it's living in this city is a gift.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it is. And it's a gift that is too often taken for granted by people who are chasing, trying to get to the next level, trying to succeed in whatever the things that they're trying to succeed in. And you forget that there's so much of this city that can beat you down. But at the same time, there's so much of the city that can nourish you. And it's right there all the time.
And so much of it is free.
And so much of it is free.
Yeah.
I mean, just walk through Central Park.
Absolutely.
Feel.
I was just thinking that. Yep. That's right.
And yes, it's man-made, and yes, it's not really nature the way nature is outside the city. But there's something beautiful about that too, is that it exists not because it can't help but to exist, but it exists solely because people ensure that it does.
And that is another kind of success, I believe. The fact that Central Park, and not just Central Park, but some of the other parks around the city, are kept as beautifully as they are, and they really are.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, people are donating money. The city, of course, does a lot, but the what are called the conservancies do as well.
Well, I was, as you know, I was on the High Line last night.
You should tell the listeners about the High Line.
Oh, yeah. The High Line is a beautiful garden park in the city that is up 30 feet above the ground on a rail line, on a train line that I suppose has been not operational for I don't know how long. But it's an above ground rail line that was converted into a park after having been abandoned for however many years it had been abandoned for. The city came together, the High Line Conservancy, I suppose. I don't remember what they're called exactly. But they have come together to create this stunning. How long is it? It goes from 14th Street all the way up to I think almost
30
30th.
something.
Yeah, it's 30 something.
Even
street.
the low 30s. Yeah.
Yeah. And you can walk the entirety of it outdoors. It's kept beautifully. It's incredible greenery and vegetation that's all around, and then smattered throughout it are these stunning pieces of artwork that are either donated by museums like the MoMA or picked out by representatives of the group that takes care of it. They'll pick an artist from somewhere and have them build a sculpture that's gonna sit on the High Line, and then all these different pieces along the entire High Line. It's just an incredible little oasis that exists for free in the city. You can go any time of the day and just go walk up there. It's beautiful, and people don't go. It's just above your eye level, so people don't think about it. But if you pay attention, there's incredible little gems in this city, all throughout every borough that's just there for you to enjoy. You forget about it a lot living here and struggling and trying to survive in New York. It's a cold place a lot of the time, and people are mean and nobody cares, and everything's expensive and whatever. But every time you get an opportunity to step back for 1 second and think about how much love and how much passion and how much discipline and how much community is required to maintain these little pockets of beauty that do exist in the city for free. It is an incredible success to be a part of that community in New York.
I agree with you. Yeah, yeah. There are individuals who make this happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, Stanley, I feel like that might be a good note to end today on. It's a
We
happy
done.
note.
We done already.
Yeah, it's probably not quite 30 minutes in totality, but it is on the thing. I'll
Okay.
probably cut out the beginning. We can keep going if you want to,
No,
but it's up to
enough. We'll quit while we're winning. I hope.
you. Yeah. All right.
You should put in a little note about the spots that you have been creating. The video spots.
Okay, yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, I've been taking small clips, 30-second to a minute clips from these episodes and posting them on social media. Most of you who listen to the show probably have seen them on social media. If you haven't, you can follow me on Instagram. It's Mickey Roberts Art, Mickey Roberts, Roberts Art, A-R-T. And if you go to that page, you can see all of the clips that I post from the show. And if you have seen any of those clips and you like them, then share them with someone who you think might also like them. We're just trying to spread the word, get people to listen to the show, and hopefully give us a growing little community of our own.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a plug, folks.
That's what we call a plug in the industry.
All right, that's all for today. See you again.
Yeah. See you again. See you, everybody.